I'm Desiree Vargas Wrigley, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of GiveForward.com. And we are a tech startup that helps people answer the question, what can I do to help when a loved one's sick? So it's a crowdfunding platform for hope. And we launched in August of 2008, but we really just kind of hit our stride recently. And we've helped people raise over $130 million on the site. About 50% of that's been in the last year. So the first few years were definitely a struggle. So I, like most students out of college, kind of had these dreams of making an impact on the world, but I didn't really know how or what I was going to do. And so I got really lucky and I got a job at the Kauffman Foundation in Kansas City, and I got to see all of these young people starting businesses. And when I was there, I thought, if I ever have a good idea, someday maybe I'll try starting my own company, because if they can do it, why can't I? And the funny thing is that I had a great idea. I had an idea for this crowdfunding platform before crowdfunding was even a word, but it took me a year to get up the courage to actually start the business, because even though I'd seen all these young people starting companies, I still had this kind of preconceived notion that startups, tech startups especially, had to be done by guys who were, computer science people, or, had this tech background that I just didn't have. I was a Latin American studies major, so I really had no idea how to start a tech business. But I saw one company launched by a guy that I thought was going to be a competitor to my idea, and it turned out to not be what I wanted to GiveForward to be. And then I saw another guy do the same thing. And so after about 8 months, I thought, why not me? I don't have enough money, I don't have any tech background, I'm in a city with not a lot of friends, but I believe in this idea so much, and people bootstrap all the time, like maybe I can do this too. And so it's funny how once you decide to do something, once you kind of take a leap, the net appears. And so that's really what happened. I decided, okay, I'm not gonna take on any other jobs, I'm just going to start this business. And I waited tables at night so that I could work on my business during the day, and I told everyone I could possibly tell about the business I was trying to build. And it's funny how things just kind of fall into place when you kind of open yourself up to the opportunity. A few different things came together, but part of it was Hurricane Katrina. I was frustrated that there wasn't an easy way to give to families who are trying to rebuild. And then I later had this other business idea, and I was trying to think of how I would fund that business. And I thought, well, entrepreneurs raise money from friends and family. Mine are all over the country and all over the world. So I thought, well, maybe I can do it online. And it was 2007, and there was no way to raise money online unless you were a registered nonprofit. So now there's Kickstarter and Indiegogo and all of these fundraising platforms, and crowdfunding is pretty common. But back then, there wasn't a term called crowdfunding, it was just called peer-to-peer fundraising. And so I thought about all the different reasons people need to raise money, cheerleading squad going to the state competition, or student travel to Africa, or even student tuition. And so I thought there should be a platform for that. And so that kind of had that aha moment. And then we eventually evolved into more of like the medical and crowdfunding for hope, partially because we saw there was a really big need there. Americans spend $400 billion a year in out-of-pocket medical expenses, and 50% of Americans can't come up with $2,000 in a pinch, but our average deductible in this country is $2,600. There's a gap there, and then that doesn't even include transportation or anything like that, or being out of work. So we just saw the need and saw the impact that it was making on families' lives. And we also know it's 62% of bankruptcies are caused by medical-related debt, and the average owed is only $17,000. It's like such a preventable sum of money. So we're just hoping to change the way Americans deal with the financial hardship of a lot of different life events. And so later, when I was working at the Kauffman Foundation, and people talked about, make your dream job, you don't have to just take a job. That really resonated with me. I remembered that moment. I thought, what do I want to do with my life? How do I want to feel about my work? Like, maybe I can create my own future. Maybe I can build my own job. And that's really what entrepreneurship lets you do. And I think that it's not always the most obvious choice, because you don't necessarily know what your skill sets are. But if you go into the workforce for a little bit and you see what it feels like to work for someone else, and you figure out what you're good at, or you have a great idea, like, why not kind of own your own destiny? Why not forge your own path? So I guess my message is, why not you? Why can't you build your dream job?